Mikey P. Mike Barbosi back on the In the Money YouTube channel. In the Money Players podcast for Assiniboia Downs. And last week, our pod was rudely interrupted by a lightning cancellation. So I got the mayor back, Sean Nolan, back with me because, Mayor, we deserve a chance, I think, to let our picks play out on the track. And the last week's show was well received. Let's run it back this week. We're going to do Wednesday night, though. They have 8 races Wednesday. Welcome back to the pod.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I totally agree. Mother Nature tried her best to thwart our winning ways, but we will get her back this week, hopefully with a nice card and get our just reward. So I'm excited.
So I was talking to you last week a little bit, and I know you do the Tuesday night show with the Trust the Prophets, and we're recording this on Tuesday in the evening time. So you're going to be going tonight and taking care of business on the Tuesday night card. We're going to look at Wednesday's card this week. This gives everybody a fresh look at your picks. They have 8 races on Wednesday night at Assiniboia. And, I just thought we'd mix it up this week. And this was, I think, a nice card to really jump into.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm excited about it. Yeah.
We'll talk about real quick, Sean. Tell everyone where they can find you with, again, in case they missed last week, some of the stuff that you are up to.
Sure. Yeah, no, exactly. I love to have everybody. Yeah. You can find me on X or Twitter at SpinNation74 right there. And I do on Tuesday nights, we do Assiniboia live on the Trust the Prophets Network. And on Thursday, you can find me on the Cocktail Lounge. We usually do Woodbine, but right now their time is a little bit ahead right now until the King's Plate. So we will just be doing Evangeline Downs right now because Churchill Downs has stopped. But that's very exciting. Then we'll get back to Woodbine. And also, of course, I do the Tuesday night picks for the one and only Mike Barbosi on Now Picks. And so check those out for sure as well.
Absolutely. And check out SPN's picks every day for the Mohawk feed also. He's everywhere. He's doing America's Best Racing. He's showing up at Saratoga. He's all over the place. All over. Let's jump in, Mayor, to the Wednesday night card at Assiniboia. Now, remember, 8 races, so a little later start to the pick 4 this week. Race number 5 kicks off the pick 4, 10:15 Eastern time. And everyone remembers 8:30 Eastern, first race at Assiniboia, $1 minimum pick 4, low takeout. Last week, the pool was $163,000 on Wednesday night for that late pick 4, $50,000 guaranteed. Yeah, don't even need to worry about that because they're getting massive pools up there. 7.5 furlongs to kick it off. 2 lifers, nickel claimers. Sean, how are we going to kick it off?
Okay, this is an interesting field. So basically, when you look at this field, we're going 7.5 furlongs, and nobody, with exception of the 6, has actually run 7 furlongs. So this is actually an interesting race. The 5 has, and actually has come in first and second. So that's something to be noteworthy. I looked at this field. Antonio Whitehall is just a 2-turn wonder man up there. And when I look at this horse, Murray Duncan, he has a horse on Tuesday too. It seems like they're kind of getting space in their barn because they're just dropping horses into spots that they think. I think the right sandbox, right group of friends, maybe clear out the barn a little bit. And this horse is just faced. I know he's 1 for 5 at the distance, but he's just faced so much better than this group. And you put Antonio Whitehall, who is just a 2-turn king. I'm singling the 6 in this leg to start out because I just think he's the best horse.
Interesting, because I was trying to fade this horse, and I get it. I understand using this horse. He does get a drop. He's 3rd back. You mentioned the distance. He's probably going to sit back and try to 1 punch. But I mean, he was 2-1 last time, and could only manage 5th. Was a little flat, I thought. So I was, going to try to spread out here a little bit. This would be probably my spreadiest leg. I was interested in the 5, Fresno Chow. This horse, 3-1 morning line, another one 3rd back. And It was 57-1 last time, but it had a little bit of excuse last time at least. It was bumped at the start.
Yeah.
The race prior raced okay, going 5.5 off the bench, faced a repeater in there. So I just thought that those two lines played well versus these horses. But I could see others. I could see the 4 Freed by Magic. Got a win last time for maiden 7,500. And that was with a jockey switch and a ship up here. Well, maybe this horse is improved with this racetrack. The figure came back pretty low, but it's just they were betting here. I do think this is a natural spot for this one. And, I like horses coming off a win. So we'll try that one. But I think the 1 and 2 also have chances. The 1, no barbed wire, 15-1 morning line. This one gets a drop here. Drops from 15 to life to 5. And so now this horse, I do think it needs to improve. But if you look back last year, 7 furlong race on September 9th, finished second. So, and faced a repeating winner in that spot. So maybe the distance might help this horse a little bit. I don't mind that line, especially when, you're looking for prices. And I could see the 2 also. Per Tiger, I just, 1-2 back, stepped in versus winners and was just okay there, but got a check. Just, one in a spready race that I thought, maybe coming off a win 2 back could show up. It's a tough race though, Sean. I understand your 6, but I'm going to try to, spread out and catch a price.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think it's one of these races, as you just point out so wonderfully. It's either take a stance or really spread. You know what I'm saying? And then your logic is very valid, because if there's many horses where if they run the right race, I definitely think they could get a very square price start in this pick 4.
Let's go to race 6 furlongs, and this is 2 lives again. It's 10 claimers, and we were talking a little bit off air. This is a race that has some horses that we talked about last week, and it's starting with Lemon Twist, and Lemon Twist 2-1 morning line in here. With speed last time, lost a big walk in a very similar spot. I think controls this race. Just looks faster than these, Sean. I think is going to be very difficult to beat. And a lot of my tickets probably would run through him in this race. Only backup I might try would be the 8 Distinct Tail. Comes out of that same race last time and just got away terrible from the gate. Ended up rallying, though. This horse didn't get a great ride in there. I had to come, a little bit wide coming off the turn. I just thought it was a little goofy. The horse did make up ground in the lane. So watching that replay, I thought that maybe this horse could take a little bit of a step forward here, but they're going to have a hard time beating the 1.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. It all goes through the 1. And I'm using 3 horses in here. I'm banking on the fact that I don't know if he'll be able to beat him, but if Northern Echo can at least get out for A2 Thoroughbreds, who is a wonderful owner up there. If this horse can even just push Lemon Twist, I'm just saying for 2-3 furlongs, that might be all it takes to just at least take a little bit of a blow out of them there. And I'm going to try your 8, who I did like Distinct Tail, but I'm also going to try the 3 Luca Gracie. You get Pruitt, you get the 10 pounds, which I think in the Assiniboia, her dirt form isn't great. Her horse's dirt form isn't great here. But what I like about this horse is that look at the workouts: 1 out of 4, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 17, 1 out of 6. Maybe this horse has finally found a group and a track that they like. And if the 2 and the 5 and 1 happen to hook up there on the top, maybe Pruitt with the weight gets in there and shocks the group. So I was 1-3-8.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about this horse last week, and I believe you like this one again. And I understand that. And your 5, that is a good look there. 3rd back, and this horse has faced better. Those 2 life allowance races are difficult, and those are better horses there. This horse has speed. The problem is it's really just not finishing races. Now, maybe the problem is he in too tough? I mean, it's a 3-year-old versus, some older types. So we'll see what happens there, but I do think that certainly could shake up the race, especially if this horse can continue with that speed and carry it a lot longer. So we'll see what happens there. Pretty good race there, race number 6, second leg, pick 4 on Wednesday at Assiniboia.
Yeah.
Go to race 7, and we have the Phillies $5,500 claimers, 9 going in here. Sean, these kind of races up here are usually very wide open. Where'd you go here?
Yeah, I will start, but I emphasize start with the 9, East Coast Cowgirl. Elton Dickey, I mean, him and Whitehall, 53%. I mean, what more do you need to know? These guys just get it. And if you look at the way this horse is run, the only bad race they had with Whitehall was in the slop, and it didn't like it at all. It just faded. But you look at all the races other with Whitehall, won by 6. I mean, this duo, Elton Dickey and Whitehall, just get it going on the outside. Perfect spot. I think this horse will be very tough here and should be closing stoutly down the field. A couple horses that you could use here. Interesting. I like Betty Joe's first race there for Jerry Gurneau. I mean, who's just off to a very solid start using Stephenson. I love the way this horse ran. 53 buyer, very solid. I thought the 7 could be a interesting price here. And the other horse that I used was 8 Stevie Wonder Girl. Copland got off to a huge start. Ball ropes with him, 31% together. Just love the way this horse finished. And just because at this type of tracks, if a horse isn't going to form, I don't care 4,000 versus 5,500. If you're flying like that, you're in good shape. So I was 7, 8, 9 in this race.
Yeah, and I can understand your affinity for the outside of the gate here because that's where a lot of the class lies and a lot of the sharpness lies. I was looking to a horse that was, I do agree on the 8 and the 9. I would use them on my tickets, but the 2 Adams Creed interests me here. 7-1 morning line. And this horse will be a price and had to chase Load Abroad last time, who was 1-5 in that race on June the 3rd and ultimately did get tired. Now the horse was coming off the layoff, showed speed against a pretty difficult favorite in there and held on to be 5th. Got a check, was beaten by a couple horses in there, including East Coast Cowgirl, who came back and galloped at 1-9 there on June 18th. So, I do think that this horse could be tighter, is going to be a price, and maybe could shake loose here, or at least is going to be forwardly placed. If you look back to September of last year, was able to get a win at 30-1 when going head-in-head and lead the whole way around the racetrack. So I think there's some positive sides for this horse, and this one's going to be a price. I think a horse that I want to use on this ticket because it will certainly help this dollar payoff for sure. But the 9 and 8 are very difficult to look past in here. They're both very sharp. You mentioned the connections. The 9 comes off a win at 1-9. Now that was against 4 lifers, but has raced well at the level already. And then, the 8, goes into a 40% barn now. So, and has raced very well at very similar levels. And basically up and down the claiming ladder has raced, and even as high as optional claiming 22,000, won a 16 claimer at Century last year. So the class is there. And I do think that one plays pretty well in this race. And you mentioned the 7, you have to say with Gurneau, anything that he puts out in the track.
You have to use it.
So pretty nice race there. 3rd leg, pick 4 Wednesday night.
Very nice race. Yeah.
Let's go to the last, and we have another nickel claimer, 2 life. They're going 5.5. Mayor, how are we going to get paid?
Yeah, I like Dusk, the 9, Mike Taphorn and Ali. They're 20% together. I did like the fact that this horse dropped from the 10,000 non-runners of 2 down to the 5. Was like 5-6 wide. I mean, he was so wide, and almost got second. With a little more straight path here, I think this 9's very good. The 8, Mary Who, and my mom's Mary, so of course you'd want to root for that. But this horse just seems to not want to win. Is always is very close, but just doesn't seem to want to win. So I think she's usable. But I kind of like the 9 to upset her at a price here. So the 9 was my single. If I was looking for one more horse, I like the 5 Sneaky Situation, Sherry Lang and Rashad Knights, 22% together. I like dropping down from 10 to 5. I think this horse can be very tough throughout the race, and I think this horse could be interesting. So I was 5 and 9, but if you want to throw in the 8, I can see why.
Yeah, I have a little different approach to this race because I was looking inside here. Now I understand the 9 and this horse was bet to 6-5 last time, but his 3 races this year have been pretty even, and this horse has taken a fair amount of money in those races and just can't seem to kind of get himself going. And it's over 2 years now. He's outside post again. I just don't know what kind of trip he's going to get in this race. So I was looking inside here. The 2 Skylar's Fire I thought was an interesting horse in this race, and shipped in last time. Got new connections, was 29-1 in there. I thought it raced pretty well, and then dug in to be second in that race. Came up the inside, and the winner had flown in there. There was no way that one was going to catch the winner in that race. Dusk was in that race. This one outfinished Dusk in there, and just looked like maybe that she wanted to fight for it a little bit more. So I'm interested in that one. 15-1 morning line, I think, is a definite use. I think the 3 Zippy Season, 8-1 morning line. You mentioned Whitehall. He ends up here. This horse comes off a pretty nice win, going for 7,500 maidens. Was favored in there. Now has to face winners here, and that's a difficult thing to do. But this horse should be forward in this race. Needs to improve, I think, to beat some of the other ones. But I'm interested, in a horse that maybe could have a little bit of confidence here too. So I like that one. And then I thought the one that's a Jerry Gourneau here shows up, comes off a couple marginal races. But if you look back, did win maiden 10, going 6.5 at Fawner in March. And then since then has just been, just okay. The race 2 back was solid, was fighting to the wire, had a 3 wide trip. Last time was a dud, but I'm willing to throw that out with another wide trip there at Energy Downs. So this is a different spot for a trainer that likes to bring them in live in a race that I don't really like the favorites very much. So you get top connections, you get an inside post, you get a horse that's shown speed in the past. I'm just interested in that horse, and I think that these are 3 that, at prices, I think could wrap up a pretty fruitful pick 4 on Wednesday night. So, Sean, really, we love this Assiniboia races. This pick 4 looks approachable, yet it seems to me last week I thought wouldn't pay very much. I know the cancellation messed us up. This week, I feel like this one could pay.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There even the favorites in the race, there is no favorite that you just say this horse absolutely, will be 1-9, just romp, and even if you beat 1 or 2 with the guaranteed, the low takeout and the payoffs, you're going to get paid. So, I mean, it's a spread, as you said, is almost you get your investment back, because if you beat 1 of the 2 of those favorites, you're going to get a great pay. And then that's what makes the pick 4 at Assiniboia, I think, one of the most exciting bets in North America.
Well, nice to have you back. I know last week, weather didn't cooperate for us, but, we're doing so good at this that I think I'm going to have to get you on again before the end of the meet, because we're doing pretty well. And but everyone, tune in to Sean on Tuesday nights and on Thursday nights now. And again, remind everybody where you'll be and where they can catch you.
Yep. Spin Nation 74 on Twitter. Always say hello. Love to hear from you. Tuesdays, we do Assiniboia Tuesday Night Lights on Trust the Profits, and Thursday, the Cocktail Lounge. And then some weekends coming up, especially with Woodbine with their big America's Best Racing. I'll be on there with Dan Torchman, counting down to the Big Kings Plate at Woodbine.
Awesome. Always great to have you. And everybody jump in to Assiniboia on Wednesday night. Join us next week. I'm not sure I'm going to have yet. I think maybe Garnett Barnsdale next week.
Love it.
More, somebody from Canada checking out Assiniboia. Always love to have him. And I know you're good buddies with him, so I had to mention that.
Absolutely, and I promise I can actually say in this program ran without him getting mad at me. Ran a good race because they're actually thoroughbreds. When I do that, I've corrected that though. He's proud of me. So if he's watching, Garnett, I've done a good job.
It's been a production of In the Money Media. Enjoy Assiniboia for Wednesday. We'll see you all next week.